What does April 24 mean to us today? Passages from Reverend Dr. Vahan Tutikyan's book, Reflection of an Armenian. For Armenians all over the world, April 24, their Martyrs' Day, has become a symbol expressing their deepest afflictions and affections, their profound disappointments and frustrations, their loftiest ideals and dreams, and their uttermost dedications and consecrations. April 24 is an anniversary of tragedy. First of all, April 24 is the observance of an anniversary of a most calamitous tragedy suffered by the Armenians during World War I, a tragedy which almost obliterated our nation, a tragedy of such monstrous proportions. It was indeed the first genocide of the 20th century, a genocide premeditated and perpetrated by the Turkish government. During the First World War, the Turkish government put into effect the Young Turks Party policy of deportation and extermination of the entire Armenian population in the Ottoman Empire, which was secretly adopted at their Central Committee meeting held in Salonika in 1911. As a result, more than 1.5 million Armenians were massacred with unparalleled brutality, and another million were uprooted from their ancestral homeland and driven into the deserts of Syria on journeys of no return. In addition, thousands of children were Turkified, and the amount of property lost and confiscated has been estimated in the billions of dollars.
April 24 is a time to deepen our faith. Secondly, April 24 is the commemoration of the greatest national tragedy in our long and tortured history, which goes beyond our powers of comprehension. Although the Armenian people have not found a theoretical explanation for and solution to the problem of their suffering, they have learned a practical way of dealing with it. They have learned to face it with God, and in the wake of all of their national disasters, they have transformed the thorns of tragedy into crowns of victory. They have taken trouble, adversity, and calamity and transformed them into courage, fortitude, and sacrifice. As a nation, we have learned that our Christian faith has offered us purpose, power, and perspective to utilize our creative forces no matter where we have been. Thirdly, April 24 is a symbol that the Armenian people have prevailed over their enemies and their fate. It is a symbol of Armenian determination and fortitude in surviving even the worst disaster in its history. It is a declaration that Armenian life has a victorious perspective that will survive beyond Deir el-Zor, the Syrian and Mesopotamian deserts. The genocide did not paralyze the creative forces of our people, for the scattered Armenian remnants did achieve new life in the four corners of the earth, both in their homeland and in the diaspora. And today, they do not live under the tyranny of despair, but rather stand with their hands held high to face the future with hope.
A reminder of man's inhumanity. Fourthly, April 24 is a reminder to the world that any genocide perpetrated against a people is a crime committed against all humanity. The first genocide of this century, the Armenocide, should serve notice to the whole world. The evil done by the Turks to the Armenians was an evil done to mankind. The world should realize that even the civilized nations fail to take an ethical stand and launch a moral attack. A crime of such magnitude failed to arouse them to active intervention, and because they let such a monumental crime rampantly go on unhindered, because they were callous and failed to take proper action, in less than 3 decades the world witnessed an even greater Holocaust during World War II. April 24 bore witness to the ultimate consequences when man is inhumane to his fellow man, and must be observed as a reminder and warning that genocides can easily be committed when nations put self-interest above justice, oil above blood, and possessions above people.
April 24 is a time to remember unfulfilled claims. Fifthly, April 24 is also a reminder to the whole world that Armenian rights still remain on the agenda of unfinished business. In this regard, a number of steps must be taken. 1. We have to acquaint our people, particularly the younger generation, with the Armenian question, the genocide, and our rights and expectations. We have to acquaint them with our history and build in them national pride. 2. We must strive to acquaint all the peoples of the world with Armenocide. The civilized world must be made to remember the forgotten Turkish genocide of the Armenians. 3. We must see that historical records of the genocide is kept straight. The Turks have embarked upon a campaign to distort and even deny facts of the genocide. Their duplicity and immortality must be revealed. 4. The Armenian question and rights must be kept alive. In spite of the fact that at present the prevailing political condition in the world do not promise a favorable solution to the Armenian cause, we must pursue our rights patiently, persistently, and intelligently. Great causes cannot be buried forever. Nothing should stop us, even if 100 years passed, in our demand that occupied Armenian territories be returned to their sole proprietor, the Armenian people.
April 24 is a day to rededicate our lives. Sixthly, April 24 is not only a day of commemoration, but a day of rededication. Armenians are now being called to rededicate themselves to the principles for which the unnumbered hosts of Armenian martyrs made their supreme sacrifice. Commemoration without dedication is incomplete. On every April 24, when we remember our martyrs, we should not lose sight of the fact that someday we too will be remembered. But the question is, how are we going to be remembered? What kind of legacy will we leave to the future generations? Will we, with a healthy national consciousness, inspire in them the spirit of their forefathers? Will we be able to inspire them to be fulfillers, extenders, and enlargers of the best of our heritage? Will we inculcate in them a sense of justice and national pride to continue the search for justice for the Armenian people so that their martyred ancestors will not have died in vain? How frightening, yet how glorious to be an Armenian.